Hi and welcome everyone to another video on my channel. My name is Denis and today we're going to do a Gaming 2 review. We're going to discuss about the top scoring players, the biggest disappointments, what we learned also in this gaming and what we do now. If you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button, but now let's get into it. Okay, so as I said before, today I want to try to do a gaming review to see basically what happened in Gaming 2. Now, firstly, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the best performance this gaming, and as you can see on the left on the screen, you can see the fixtures. Obviously there is still one game to go. Tonight, Newcastle against Liverpool. We need to see what's going to happen there, but let's just start with the first one. West Ham Chelsea. What a horrible performance from West Ham at home. Chelsea obviously played amazingly in that game, and as you can see from the screen, the top scorers in these games were João Pedro and Enzo Caicedo. So again, a really good performance from Chelsea. Maybe West Ham are going to be a team to target this season. Let's see. If we move next, another surprise maybe for a lot of people, myself included, Manchester City Spurs 0-2. So Spurs again are just showing really good signs under Thomas Frank. I think that they are going to be a lot better this season, as I predicted also in the preseason. But again, to win against Manchester City away 2-0, it is pretty impressive, and as you can see, their defense is going to be decent this season, obviously also their attack, but their top scorer this gaming was Palhinha with 11 points. So again, an interesting player. Maybe he's going to be an option at some point into our teams, considering that he's going to be decent for defensive contributions also. Now if we move to the next games, Bournemouth Wolverhampton 1-0, Brentford Aston Villa 1-0. Again, a little bit of a surprise maybe there with Brentford. The top scorers here obviously, and some interesting options for FPL maybe in the future, someone like Dango with 13 points. What was really impressive about Dango is that he got also defensive contribution points. I think that he got 14 or 15 defensive contributions into that gaming as a left winger, so that's impressive. Coyote, Collins, Vandenberg, really good players who are going to get a lot of defensive contributions this season. The fixtures are not amazing at the moment for Brentford, but for the future maybe they are going to be. With Bournemouth, a little bit impressed with Diakite, Senesi, two really promising 4.5 million defenders in FPL, and also Tavernier who got 11 points. Now if you move to the banker fixture, Arsenal beat Leeds 5-0 at home. Now again, this is not a surprise. It was a good performance from Arsenal. What it is a little bit surprising to me at least is that someone like Timber scored 24 points. So congrats to everyone who got him into their teams. I don't think that is going to be suddenly an amazing option in FPL, so I'm just going to say it. But again, really good scores for someone like Timber, Calafiori, Gyökeres. If we move to Everton, they were a little bit lucky, let's be honest, to keep the clean sheet, but Pickford saved the penalty and obviously he got an amazing score, 15 points. Tarkowski is amazing for defensive contributions. He got those points again. And someone like Grealish got 2 assists, the new signing for Everton. So one to keep an eye on for 6.5 millions. Now if you move to Crystal Palace Nottingham Forest, a 1-1 draw. Not amazing for a lot of us because a lot of us have obviously defenders from Crystal Palace, defenders from Nottingham Forest. Maybe you have Mateta, maybe you have Wood. They are not here in the top scorers list. Someone like Ismail Assaris with 8 points, so a little bit frustrating. If we talk a little bit about Fulham Manchester United, in this game, to be honest with you, weren't a lot of really good performances, not a lot of top performance. Someone like Anderson got defensive contributions, but other than that, not a lot of things happen in this game. And obviously Burnley players smashed this gaming, as you can see here. Burnley midfielders, let me just say it like that. So Cullen with 14 points, Anthony with 13 points, and Ekdal with 9 points. Now again, should you just rush to buy Burnley players? Probably not. But now let's move to the next section. Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about some of the biggest disappointments this gaming in Gaming 2, because there were a lot, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are maybe frustrating. I myself, I'm a little bit frustrating with my gaming score and with all of that, but just try to be patient, guys. And let's just take a look into this. Obviously Palmer got an injury just before the game started, before 7 or 10 minutes, something like that, and probably he would have played on the right wing. And again, if Palmer played in that game, maybe he would have got something. Now again, he's going to be injured. We don't know at the moment exactly the period of the injury. Now Tuesday Palmer is going to have a scan and we're going to get more information this week, so I recommend you again, to try to not rush your decisions to sell him, because if he's going to be available, I think that he could be a decent option to keep at the moment, at least. Now, again, it is really frustrating because he would have got something in that game, I'm pretty sure, if he played. City unable to score at home, Ainuri injured. Again, a pretty good performance from Tottenham, but to be honest with you, City were a little bit bad in that game. For City to not score at home, it is a little bit surprising because a lot of us maybe were hyping Manchester City after they won against Wolverhampton, but it's looking like they are not at the moment at their best. And not to take anything from Spurs, they played an amazing game, but again, someone like Haaland, someone like Ryan Deers, they didn't get a lot of chances, and it is not surprising to me because I said it before Game Week 2. Guys, try to not take too many rush decisions because in Game Week 1 everybody just wanted to buy Ryan Deers, and I said it before, these players are not going to score every Game Week, and obviously I still think that Ryan Deers is going to be an amazing pick, a value pick this season, but try to not take too much from just one gaming. And Enury is injured. This is the big problem. Really frustrating for the owners, obviously, and also maybe some players bought Enury just for gaming too, so it is a really unlucky. We don't know at the moment the extent of the injury. Maybe it's not going to be anything major. If we talk a little bit about Aston Villa, especially players like Watkins, Rogers, not getting a lot of chances, and they played against Brentford, a team who shipped a lot of chances and a lot of conceded a lot of goals against Nottingham Forest in Game Week 1. Now, again, in Game Week 1 against Newcastle, fair enough. Newcastle defended really well. In that game against Aston Villa was a close game, and also against Brentford, not to take anything from Brentford, usually they are a good side at home and they played really good defensively. They won that game, but at the moment Watkins, Rogers didn't get a lot of chances. Now again, I urge you guys to try not to make any early decisions because the fixtures for Aston Villa are pretty much the best for any teams. They are going to play Sunderland, they are going to play Burnley in the next 4 or 5 fixtures, so I don't think that you should rush to sell players like Watkins and Rogers, but it is a little bit of a concern, not going to lie about their form at the moment. For Aston Villa as a whole team, they didn't look like scoring in that game, to be honest with you. From Arsenal, Odegaard and Bukayo Saka is injured again, so really unlucky for the captainers, for the owners of Bukayo Saka, but he gone off with an injury. At the moment, the latest news is that he's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks, something like that, but we need to get obviously more information. I think that he's definitely a sell if that's going to be true, and if he's going to miss 2, 3, 4 gamings, something like that. With Odegaard, I think that it is a little bit of more of a minor injury, but just try to be patient and try to get the information and then sell these players if you want to sell them. Forest defenders, consider again, this is not great because they are not cheap defenders. Nico Williams obviously is 5 millions, but someone like Milenkovic, someone like Murillo are 5.5 millions, and this is not a great sign. You don't really want to pay 5.5 million for a defender from Nottingham Forest who they are not getting at the moment clean sheets, and they are also not getting defensive contributions. So that's not amazing, but surely at the moment the fixtures are decent for Nottingham Forest, so not a rush to sell them right now. Manchester United assets blank, a little bit of a disappointment for the owners, obviously. Cunha, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty. Really disappointing for the owners. Obviously he got defensive contributions, at least, to be honest with you, but he still ended up on 2 points or something like that. So again, really frustrating. On another day Bruno Fernandes would have hold in that gaming, so I urge you to not try to be patient, try to not make any rash decisions, because not every day Bruno Fernandes is missing a penalty, and I get it. It is really frustrating for everyone who captained him, who had him into their teams, but at the moment the general idea for me is that Manchester United played really good against Arsenal in Game Week 1, but at the moment I'm not really convinced about their performances, and the fixtures are not great long term for Manchester United anyway. Only Gyökeres and João Pedro returned this Game Week for all the forwards. I was really surprised to see that when I gone to the Fantasy Premier League page. So Gyökeres got 13 points, I think, or 12, and João Pedro got 15. But other than that, all the other forwards blanked. So yeah, at the moment we don't have a lot of options in the forward spot, so I would suggest you try to be patient. Again, Strand Larsen a doubt with an injury, so Strand Larsen blanked again. in the second game week. He has a little bit of an injury. We need to see what's going to happen. Obviously, with Strand Larsen, Newcastle just had an offer for him. Wolverhampton at the moment declined the offer, so we need to see where he is going to end up. If you have Strand Larsen, you keep him at the moment. If you don't have Strand Larsen, I think that I would suggest you to try to not rush him into your team, because we don't know where he's going to end up. And if he's going to go to Newcastle, maybe he's not going to be a starter or a 90-minute player, so I would suggest you try to wait. And again, Bruno Fernandes, Welbeck, penalty misses. It is really frustrating if you have these players. With Bruno Fernandes, obviously you just keep him because they're going to play against Burnley in Game Week 3, but with Welbeck, again, he could lose the penalty, so not a great sign for the owners. Now let's move to the next part. In the next part, I want to talk a little bit about some lessons maybe we can learn from Gaming 2, because I know that it was a horrible gaming for me and probably for a lot of other people, but we can learn something here. Let's start with don't judge players on one gaming. This is what I said in Gaming 1. Guys, be patient, try to not judge a player with just one game, because a lot of things are going to change in the next few gamings, and I still have that opinion, and I was right, at least with someone like João Pedro, where everybody wanted to sell him in Game Week 1. He got 15 points against West Ham in Game Week 2. So again, someone like Reinders, everybody wanted to buy him. He blanked in Game Week 2. Again, a lot of things are going to happen, guys, in the next few game weeks, and try to not base your decisions based on 1-2 game weeks, something like that. We need to have more information to make better decisions. Spurs are looking good this season. Again, I think that the fixtures are great for Spurs. They are defending okay, they are attacking okay. I think that we're going to have some options from Spurs this season, and at the moment, if you want to buy a defender from Spurs, Romero, Van de Ven, Pedro Porro, someone like Johnson, someone like Kudus could be great options. Aston Villa failed to score again, so they didn't have any goal in 2 game weeks. They got 1 clean sheet in Game Week 1, they conceded in Game Week 2. Again, I don't think that you should rush to sell them. The fixtures are still great, but definitely a team to monitor and players to monitor, like Watkins, Konsa, someone like Rogers. Arsenal had a good fixture, so again, maybe a lot of people are just going to buy a lot of players, and for good reasons. They performed well against Leeds, but try to remember, guys, that it was again just 1 fixture. They are going to play against Liverpool in the next one, and the fixtures are not great until Game Week 7 for Arsenal. So definitely my advice would be, I don't see really any good reasons to buy Arsenal players in Game Week 3, because as I said before, they're going to play against Liverpool. So yeah, try to remember that. And obviously, if you really want to buy someone like Gyökeres for the future, then yeah, fair enough. West Ham, a team to target this season. Maybe. We have a lot of teams, obviously, to target. Usually, we like to target the newly promoted sides, but West Ham, from just 2 game weeks, they looked horrible. Now, again, as I said before, I don't want to judge a team like West Ham just based on 2 games, but definitely, if they are going to keep playing like that, again, they could be a team to target. Not the best time to buy Arsenal players. We talked about that, as I said before, because they are going to play against Liverpool. Manchester United not convincing yet. So they played great against Arsenal. They didn't score, but obviously that was against Arsenal, a really good defense. Now again, they played against another really decent defense against Fulham, but still I wanted to see more from players like Cunha, Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes. A player like Sesko is not getting into the starting lineup at the moment. And at the moment, if you really want to buy a player from Manchester United, probably it is someone like Cunha. I was a little bit impressed with him because he got a lot of chances in the first half, mostly, but again, not really impressed by them. And also, they are going to play against City and Chelsea in the next 3 game weeks. The only good fixture for United is Burnley in Game Week 3. Everton were lucky a little bit to keep a clean sheet, as I said before. Again, fair enough for the owners. If you had Pickford, if you have Tarkowski, they still are going to be a decent defense, I think, but try to not make too many conclusions on that game. Tarkowski, Lacroix, great for defensive contributions. I can add here more players, someone like Anderson, someone like Van de Berg, but usually we talked about them. We knew that Tarkowski, Lacroix are going to be decent for defensive contributions, and they are monsters at that, at the moment at least. And best Palmer replacements, if he's going to be injured, as I said before, I feel the need to repeat myself. If we're going to get bad info on Cole Palmer, maybe if he's going to miss I don't know, 2 3 game weeks, something like that. Definitely a lot of people are going to sell him. And the only problem is that we don't have a lot of good replacements, to be honest with you. Now the straightforward move would be to buy someone like Semenyo, who is in decent form and the features are decent. Someone like Gordon, who's going to play against Leeds. But again, with Gordon, we need to see if Newcastle are going to buy other players. Other than that, you don't really have a lot of options. You can go for someone like Rogers from Aston Villa, but he's not playing amazingly at the moment. You can go for someone like Cunha, for someone like Mbeumo, but after Burnley they're going to play against City, Chelsea. So again, there are some decent options. You can go for someone like Reinders, obviously, someone like Anderson. If you really want to use the cash elsewhere, then I get it. Bukayo Saka is injured, so again, Wirtz is not performing at the moment. There are some good replacements, but not too many, to be honest with you. Now let's move to the next part. Okay, now in this part I want to talk a little bit about how my game week 2 was. As you can see from the screen, at the moment I'm on 39 points, something like that. Palmer obviously missed with an injury. Pedro Porro is going to came in, but overall a really horrible gaming for me, which started, to be honest with you, amazing, fantastic, with Joao Pedro scoring 15 points after a lot of people sold him in gaming 1. So again, this is how fast the game is going to change, guys, because in gaming 1 Joao Pedro was a possible transfer out for me in the future. Obviously now he is, I'm not really interested to sell someone like Joao Pedro, and also he scored 15 points, but the real good thing is that he played good, so he deserved that points. And yeah, I really wish that someone like Palmer could have also played in that game, but it is what it is. As you can see from the screen, just Esteve got 6 points for me and Joao Pedro 15. Overall, everybody was really horrible. Now, obviously, I still have Wirtz and Mohamed Salah as a captain, so probably the gaming is going to get a little bit better. Maybe at the moment my rank is 5.1 million, so horrible overall. Again, but if we look at the team, just try to not panic, guys, because to be honest with you, this team is not that bad from my perspective, at least. So players like Rogers, Watkins, as I said before, were really bad in the first 2 game weeks. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to look to sell them because the fixtures are great and I just can't sell someone like Watkins. To which player, to be honest with you, because yeah, someone like Gyökeres maybe is going to be better overall, but he's going to play against Liverpool. Again, you don't really have a lot of options. I think that Watkins against Crystal Palace at home in game week 3 is a fantastic option, and maybe Aston Villa are going to try to play football again. Someone like Joao Pedro, again, as I said before, he's going to stay. Wirtz and Mohamed Salah, not ideal because they're going to play against Arsenal, but in game week 4 they're going to play against Burnley. Really disappointed with Richards and Milenkovic also because they didn't get a clean sheet, they didn't get any defensive contributions. My highest scoring defender was Esteve from Burnley, so yeah, really happy with that. Obviously Pedro Porro, he got a clean sheet, to be honest with you, against City. A little bit lucky to have him into my team, but it is what it is. I'm going to take it. Really happy to have him also into the team. So again, I have 2 free transfers for game week 3. I'm going to wait to see what's going to happen with Palmer, how many games he's going to miss, because the perfect scenario for me, to be honest with you, would be Palmer to be fit and for me to just roll the transfer into game week 4. Now again, are there better players who I wish I had into my team? Yes, of course. Is it justified for me to use my wildcard to change 3 4 2 players, maybe something like that? I don't think that it is justified to use my wildcard. I think that this team is still decent, and I want to be a little bit patient this season also. So I think that the team is perfectly fine for the future. Obviously, at some point, if someone like Palmer is going to be injured, then I'm going to get rid of him. The real question is going to be for which player, because if I'm going to go for a Man United player, I probably want to take a punt on someone like Cunha. But again, as I said before, they're going to play against Burnley in game week 3, amazing. But after that, they're going to play against City and Chelsea, 2 of the toughest fixtures you're going to get all season. And again, I wasn't really impressed with Manchester United against Fulham, to be honest with you. The only problem with my team at the moment is that I don't really have a standout captaincy options, because if I'm not going to do any transfer, Salah is going to play against Arsenal, Watkins is going to play against Crystal Palace, so not amazing. I wish I had someone like Bruno Fernandes or Cunha. If Palmer is going to be fit, probably he's going to be my captain for game week 3, but I don't know how big the chances are for Palmer to be fit. He's going to have a scan this week. at the moment I'm not so hopeful that he's going to be fit. I could look at making some transfers because I have two free transfers, so selling someone like Palmer, upgrading someone like Guyu to someone like Mateta, someone like Chris Wood, someone like Strand Larsen. Again, if I'm going to sell Palmer, it's going to be for someone like Cunha, Gordon, or just an easy swap to someone like Semenyo. So again, not a lot of options at the moment, not a lot of players I really want to have into my team. So I'm just going to wait and see the news we're going to get. And obviously, guys, don't forget there are some games to be played midweek, and I suggest you try to not make a lot of transfers, to not try to not make a lot of rush decisions, because some players may get injured. But again, it's your decision, obviously. And yeah, this is my team at the moment. Thank you so much for watching this video this long. I really appreciate it, and it really means a lot. Special thanks goes to my members and my supporters, Hashir Akhtar and someone, I don't know his name, but thank you so much, guys, for trying to support this channel. I really appreciate it, and I'm really grateful. If you enjoy my content, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye.